The story of a robot inventor. Okay, so what's the meaning of inventor? Let me just try to explain the word invent first. Invent means to make something or create something for the first time. So the first person who made the telephone, he is the inventor. Okay, so invent means to make something for the first time. Inventor is a person who made this invention. Okay, so again, so today our story is about a man or inventor who makes robots. Okay, he was the first person to make an unusual robot. Okay, a robot that is not like a normal robot. Remember the word, our vocabulary word unusual? Unusual means something that is not normal, something that is not common. So this man wanted to make an unusual robot. Okay, and our essential question this week is, what inventions do you know? Okay, so inventions are the objects or devices made by inventors. Okay, so inventions is an object or a thing made for the first time by an inventor. Okay, today our story is about an inventor who makes an unusual robot. The story of a robot inventor. Let's start reading on page 162. Big ideas. Meet Tomotaka Takashi. He invents unusual robots. How did he get started? Okay, so this story is about a man, his name Tomataka Takashi, okay, and he invents or made unusual robots. He made robots that are not like normal robots. Okay, how did he get started? When did he begin? Mr. Takashi was born in Japan in 1973. Okay, so Mr. Takashi, he was born in a country in Asia, and this country is called Japan. Okay, when was he born? He was born in 1975. As a child, he played with blocks. He used his imagination to make all sorts of forms and shapes. Okay, so the story begins about telling us about Mr. Takashi when he was young. Okay, so where was Mr. Takashi born? He was born in a country in Asia called Japan in 1975. When he was a child, he used to like to play with blocks. Okay, these are blocks, and he would create or make different things with the blocks. Why? Because he used his imagination. He used his mind. He started thinking of ideas, and he used different shapes and forms to make out of his blocks. Okay. Later, he read comic books about a robot named Astro Boy. The robot looked like a real child. Takashi wanted to make robots just like it. So later on, when he grew up a little bit, he would read comic books. Okay, a comic book is like a book, but that had cartoon figures in it. Okay, they would have cartoon figures about a robot called Astro Boy. And he wanted to make a robot that looks exactly like Astro Boy. Finding out about robots. In 1999, when you read a year, you divide it into two parts. So this is 1999. So we divide it into two parts. In 1999, Takashi began to study robots. He took classes to learn how they move. The robots bent their knees when they walked up. When they walked, it did not look right to Takashi. People did not walk that way. So what happened in 1999? Takashi began or started to study about robots. He went to school. He went to a special school where he learned more about robots. He took classes to learn how they move. Okay, so what did he do? He went to school where he can learn about robots. He took different classes to learn how robots move. But he saw that robots, they bent their legs. They moved their leg up when they walked. And he said, no, this is not right. This is not correct. Robots do not walk like this, or people do not walk like this. So he wanted to make a robot that walks exactly like people. They move their feet up, to front and back, because the robots were bending their legs up when they moved. And he said, this is not right. Here, the word right means correct. This is not the right or the correct way that people walk. Okay? Then Takashi had an idea. He made a better robot. It did not bend its legs when it walked. It moved more like a person. So Takashi started studying and taking classes of how robots move. He saw that the robots did not move in the correct way or in the right way. So he had an idea. He started thinking and using his brain, where he thinks he can make a robot that can move in a better way, like a person. Okay? Remember, the word better means to be more good. He wanted to make a robot that can walk in a better way, more like a person. Okay, in 166, okay, I want to remind you that this is called a heading. A heading is like a small title before a paragraph to tell you what this paragraph will tell you about. Okay, so the letter or the words in red is not a title. It's called a heading. A heading is a title before a paragraph. What does the heading say? It says, making better robots, to make more good robots. In 2003, Takashi started his own company. He made many robots. A short robot climbed up a cliff with a rope. A bigger robot lifted a car with its arms. Another robot rode a bike for 24 hours. Okay? So, in 2003, Takashi opened his own company. He made a place where he can make robots. What kind of robots did he make? He made unusual robots. Robots that are not normal like the robots that we know. What robots did he make? He made a short robot that can climb a cliff with a rope. He made a bigger robot that lifted a car with his arms, okay? So he made a robot that can climb a mountain or a cliff with a rope. He made a bigger robot that can carry a car with its arm. And he made another robot that can ride a bike for 24 hours. Okay, these are unusual robots. Okay, on the next page, 167, Takashi began to put his robots in contest. He made 3 robots for a sports race in Hawaii in 2011. The first robot had to swim, the second robot had to ride a bike, and the third robot had to run. The robots had to do these tasks for a week. Okay, so what did Takashi decide to do? He decided to enter a competition or a contest for robots. Okay, so he made 3 robots for a sports race. Okay, he made 3 different robots that can do 3 different sports for a competition in Hawaii. What did he do? The first robot had to swim. The second robot had to ride a bike. And the third robot had to run. And these 3 robots had to do the same thing for 7 days, for a week. Okay? Okay, on page 168. For the race, there were problems. So he started having troubles, okay, with his robots. So let's see how he tried to fix it or solve it. For the race, there were many problems to solve. Takashi made the swimming robot waterproof. He gave it arms like fins to help it swim faster. Another robot was able to ride its bike for 100 miles without braking. The third robot ran for 26 miles. Okay, so while he was making his robots, he found that his robots had trouble and he had to make it better, to improve it. Okay? He had to improve or make his robots better so he can win the competition or the contest. So what did he do? For the robot that had that had to swim, he made it waterproof. Like, what is the meaning of waterproof? That when you put it in the water, it does not stop working. And he changed the arms of the robot into fins to be like a fish, so the robot can swim faster. In the second robot that was supposed to ride the bike, he made the robot ride the bike for 100 miles. That is a very far distance without braking. Okay, so this robot had to ride a bike for 100 miles, a very far distance without braking. And the third robot had to run for a long time, for a long distance, for 26 miles. Okay? So he started working on his robots to improve it, to make it better. Okay, the last page. What will Takashi invent next? Will his robots fly and soar like Astro Boy? Will they be his finest? We can only guess. We must wait and see. Tomataka Takashi is sure of one thing. His robots will do more and more. Okay, so after inventing all three robots, do you think he will make more robots? What kind of robots do you think he will make? Maybe he will make a robot that can fly and soar like Astro Boy. Remember Astro Boy, the comic book that he used to watch when he was young, and this is Astro Boy. Do you think he will make a robot like Astro Boy where the boy can fly and soar like a bird? We can only guess. The word guess means we can only think. Okay, but we are sure, we are certain that he will make more and more robots. Okay, so as you see here, this week we have a different skill. The skill here is problem and solution. Remember, the word problem is like something that happened in the story and that needs to be fixed. Okay, a problem is something that a person wants to do, change, or find out. In a story, sometimes there's a problem. What is a problem? A problem is something that a person or a character in the story wants to do or change or find out. Okay, so here in the story, the Tamakashi, he wants to change his robots. He wants to make it better. The way the person solves or fixes the problem is the solution. Okay, if you guys remember from the story, Tamakashi made 3 robots for a contest, right? And they all had problems. The problem was that Takashi wanted to put a robot in a race where it can swim. He made a robot where it can swim without braking. So what did he do? He made a robot that is waterproof, that can work in water, and he changed the arms of the robot into fins to look like a fish, to swim faster. Okay, this is the step. Things that he did to solve the problem or fix the problem. How did he fix the problem? Takashi built his robot in a way that it could swim. Okay, so again, a problem is something in the story that a person wants to do or wants to change or wants to find out. Okay, so what did the character Takashi wanted to do? He wanted to change his robot to make it better, to improve it, so it can swim better without braking. So what did he start to do? The steps. He started to make his robot waterproof, so it can swim in the water. And the second thing is he changed the arms into fins to make the robot swim faster. How did he fix the problem? He made the robot swim in a way for a whole week. Okay, so this is a new skill that we learned this week. The problem and solution. What else? We also have a new genre. The genre of this week is called biography. Biography. What's the meaning of biography? Biography is a real story. So does it mean that it's nonfiction? Yes. How is it different? Biography is a story about a person's life. A biography is a real story written about a person's life. Okay, but is this story written about Takashi? Did Takashi write his own story? No, somebody wrote a real story about this man. So a biography is a real story about a person's life. Okay? What can you find in a biography? You can find real photos of the person. Okay? You can find real person of the things that he did. You can find headings, okay, before paragraphs. These are some things that you would find in in a biography. Also, you'll find dates. Sometimes there's a timeline, but here you don't have a timeline. You'll find dates of the things or details about his life. Okay, again, what is a biography? A biography is a real story written about a real person's life. What can you find in biography? You can find real photos of the person. You can find real person of the things that the person did. You can find dates. You can find headings before paragraphs. Okay, and that was about today's story. If you have any questions, feel free